this is a different kind of video, I guess. I know where I want it to go, but I have not like mapped out what I'm going to say and how I want to say it. So anyways, my camera is rolling. I just feel like I need to talk. And here we are. All right. So 2 days ago, I got an Akashic reading done. Is it Akashic? Gesundheit? Anyways, I got that done. And I mean, at first, I went to my town's metaphysical type shop. In my city, it's called Yin Yang Wellness Center. And there's a store. You can purchase crystals, tarot decks, books, you name it. Actually, the day that I went there, which was Saturday, it's really not going to matter when this video is days, weeks, months old, but 4 days before recording, I actually bought this really beautiful crystal mat. And it was kind of funny. I was torn between this one and one with like a flowery mandala design on it. And I just sort of heard in my mind's ears. Anyways, just, sort of became known to me like, it doesn't matter which one you pick, but you want that one. And I decided, okay, you know what, I'm just going to honor my instinct here and I'll just go for it. Well, the night before, the Friday night, I was home alone for the night and I decided to go to sleep listening to some angel meditations. And the one that I actually fell asleep in the middle of was a meditation being channeled by Ask Angels Melanie Beckler. She's really good. And she was channeling the Archangel Metatron. Well, anyways, fast forward to me coming home from the store, whose name was on the tag. I pulled the price tag off because it had a name on one side and a price on the other. Metatron. This crystal grid, the design was after Metatron's cube. And that was kind of interesting. And this actually is relevant to my Akashic reading. I'm getting there, you guys. So anyways, the receptionist at the wellness center said to me, we have a psychic coming in on Monday. And we just had a client cancel for 5 o'clock. So she's got this opening. I can squeeze you in for a reading if you want to. And I thought, yeah, sure, I'll give that a try, And at first it was because, well, let's see what this girl knows about me. Let's see what kind of messages that the other side has. But then the more I thought about it, the rest of Saturday and over Sunday, I thought about it more and more, and I kind of looked at, the collection of metaphysical type books that are on my shelf. I took a look through my YouTube channel, and I felt like there was something more specific I needed to get to the bottom of rather than just a general overall reading on me. So anyways, Monday rolls around. I get off work at 4:30 that day, and 5 o'clock comes. I'm at the Yin Yang Center, and I go see this woman, Tara. Oh, I can't remember her last name, Drennan or something. Anyways, I will throw a card or a link or something to her website. She is fantastic. And for those of you who don't live in Canada, she does telephone readings. So you might really benefit from some of that. But I, met with her. We talk a little bit. I tell her about my spiritual journey, that I'm learning tarot, that I understand Reiki, and that and I was about to tell her that something didn't feel quite right, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And she said to me that the angel that she works with all the time was Metatron. So that's Metatron pops up yet again in the span of one weekend, or, in just like a few days. So I'm like, okay, totally wasn't a coincidence then that whoever was supposed to have the 5 o'clock appointment canceled. And she told me all about what that thing that was wrong was that I couldn't put my finger on. And she said, I really feel that you have a resistance. She said, like, you're super open to spirit. You understand a lot of things that spirit is trying to teach you. You understand manifestation. You understand how to be open. You understand meditation and stuff like that. So jokingly, she goes, why the frick are you here? But she said, no, it's because I can feel you have a very strong resistance to something. And I totally did. We talked through what I had been worried about. And this kind of brings me to my point 6 minutes in. I'm getting to the point. Anyways, the resistance was actually a form of fear. I had a fear of progressing further into developing my intuitive traits and my intuitive skills, developing maybe a deeper understanding of reading tarot, developing a deeper understanding of the angels that are trying to work with me, and developing a deeper understanding of mediumship, which that was not a route I expected to ever go down, but it's been really exciting. And I kind of thought about, well, why do I have this fear of getting really good at something that I love? Well, we talked a little bit more, and I told her about my upbringing. I have a really, really good family. I have great parents. And I am best friends with my siblings, very close. My extended family, they're all wonderful people, and I'm very fortunate that I was born into such a good family. Okay. So then why was I so worried about maybe what they would think of me because of my journey into this, the supernatural psychic realms? Well, it's interesting. I was originally raised maybe a little bit religious, definitely Christian, a little bit religious. Not a bad thing. I'm so glad that I learned about God from not just my parents. There were other adults in my life as a child who taught me about God, taught me about Jesus, taught me about angels, taught me about prayer. I said that weird. Prayer, how to pray. But I felt as though some of the smaller details and doctrines that I had been learning in church and stuff just didn't really sit with me. They just didn't really resonate, or they just didn't make sense. And when other people had, their biblical answers or the best that they could come up with, it's still, didn't really work for me. And I felt kind of worried because it's like, I had been taught that, tarot and mediumship and that stuff was dangerous. I was taught that all of that would hurt me. And I learned now that that is not the case. I understand how to call on angelic protection, how to, thank God for his wisdom, his guidance, his love, and how to protect myself energetically. And it was weird because I'm like, okay, my family really loves me. And you would think that, they love me so much that they wouldn't be too put off by me going down a sort of weird spiritual path. And when I had mentioned to Tara that it seemed really weird to me that I was going this path, she just kind of laughed and she said, your story is so textbook. She's like, you are definitely an intuitive. You have the same story as many, many other intuitive and psychic people that she talks to. And it kind of actually made me feel good to know that I wasn't crazy. I wasn't losing my marbles, because, I would be surprised I had any left at this point. she was able to tune in to a past life that I had. She said that, as a soul before I came here, I actually chose the dynamic with my family, that we all love each other really a lot, and we all have always gotten along pretty good, as families do. But I chose the dynamic that I was going to be raised one way as a child and then go another way as an adult, still maintaining some hold on some of the things I had been taught when I was little, but, changing it a little bit. In a previous lifetime she was able to tune into, it was a very long time ago, and I was actually a young man. It's kind of funny to me, but I'm also not, I wasn't really surprised. I guess it didn't matter what gender I was in the past life or even now, but I was a young man who was tired of my village church or my community's church teaching a very fear-based version of spirituality, a very fear-based version of Christianity. There was a lot of unrest in the community because people were afraid. The more that people received the fire and brimstone messages of this church, the more fearful and uneasy they became. And I apparently was trying to preach spirituality. And I was trying to help people see things a bit differently. And I was trying to help them basically to see the same thing in a different way, in a more loving way, to perceive God in a different way, to perceive that kind of universal love differently than they had been told. Basically what they had been told, what I'm receiving right now, is very legalistic, that's the word, very legalistic. Do this, don't do this, certainly don't do this, or you will go to hell. So many people in that community were afraid of going to hell. Yet, there were some who were really confused and upset by my message of spirituality. And this happened a very long time ago. My impression is that it happened at least around the time of the witch hunts, because Tara said to me, Spirit is making a very clear distinction here that you were not a witch. People did not see me as a witch, but maybe more of a heretic or something. And as a result, I was hanged. And she had to laugh. The angel working with her, Metatron, and whoever else spirits was working with her, laughed and had pointed at the choker necklace I was wearing, saying, look how far she's come. Look at her wearing a choker necklace. Like, the irony. The angels were laughing. And anyways, I was able to realize that my fear of persecution, some of it came from being hanged by the very village that I was trying to help, or the community, or whoever that I was trying to help. Yet, because that happened and because I had died and I wasn't able to make that, I wasn't able to tie up those loose ends in this lifetime. Now, I've probably lived many lifetimes since then, but in this particular one, I chose the family dynamic of being raised one way and then growing up to do something else because I still carried that fear of persecution. Even though I know my family loves me, they love me for who I am and not what I do. My friends, they care about me, same thing, who I am, not necessarily what I do. And there are a lot of people who think it's really awesome what I'm learning to do. And I thought it was kind of funny. Like, of course, I would choose that because I would rather be worried about my family disapproving. I would rather be worried about that than have the village hang me again. And I guess my point is, 15 minutes in, I'm really happy that I had this Akashic reading done because it helped me to see where I have resistance. The fear of persecution, the fear of getting more and more into my spiritual learning because my ego self, the part of me that was afraid of being judged or being told I was wrong or being, told that my gifts and my skills and stuff did not exist, is something that I have to let go of. And doing this video, talking for 15 minutes, has been very therapeutic for me. And I hope that it's helping you guys. If there is anybody here watching me that is sort of in the same place, interested in the metaphysical, interested in the spiritual realm, interested in mediumship, energy healing, Reiki, tarot, just connecting with spirit in a different way than you are used to. It's okay to let go of that fear. I'm learning that it is safe to let that go. I live in a time now where I'm not going to be hanged in the village square. I know my family just loves me and they're not going to be mad at me for making my own choices. I'm really not hurting anybody by doing this. So I know that they always will love me. And me being able to let go of the fear of not just my family, but, other people in the community that I'm from, other people who know me but aren't interested in the spiritual stuff, I'm really no longer worried about them talking about me either. And I'm really no longer worried about other people telling me, ding dong, you are wrong. Because that was a big thing I was worried about. People going into the comments on my videos and being like, that was wrong, this card means this card means that, this card means this. And I learned that it's okay. I don't have to know everything. I don't have to even be an expert on the traditional tarot. I'm allowed to interpret the messages I get from spirit in the way that resonates with me. I'm allowed to just pass along the message from spirit and let my clients and let whoever else interpret the message if they need to. Okay, I guess that I had to tell you all about my Akashic reading experience, and to everybody who is, in my boat, to people who are even just curious about spirituality, people who don't know where to start. I think the best thing to start with is letting go of the fear of being wrong, letting go of the fear of being judged, and letting go of the fear of being hanged in the village center, because that ain't gonna happen to you. Don't worry, honey. Okay, I hope you all have a blessed day and a wonderful week. All right?